Hi guys, as an angling coach I get asked quite a lot about the best knots to use when fishing, and I use three and I'll show you how to tie them. The first is the 5-turn grinner knot, and I use that for the majority of my fishing when I'm using braid and monofilament line, and I'm using that for attaching line to swivels, to hooks and to leaders. If I'm using fluorocarbon line, I'll use the palomar knot. If I'm drop shotting or using fluorocarbon, because you can't use the 5-turn grinner with fluorocarbon because it damages the line. And then the third is the knotless knot, which is a really good way of tying a basic hair rig. So let me show you how to tie those knots, starting off with a 5-turn grinner. So the first thing you do is you put the line or braid through the eye of the hook or swivel, like that. Pull it through so it's actually trapped on the line, and then you pull it back so that you've got 2 layers of braid lying side by side. Then you trap the swivel between your first and second finger, and then trap the 2 layers of braid with your third finger and your thumb, okay? Then with the tag end, you create a loop, and then you pass the braid up and under, over and under the 2 bits of braid together. So, and do that 5 times. So that's 2, 3, 4, and then 5. That's it. And then holding the tag end very, very gently, you just pull until the knot forms, like that, okay? And then very, very gently, you pull the main line so the knot slides down towards the hook or swivel. If you're using monofilament, you need to wet the line because you don't want to cause any friction and damage to the line. I'll just pull that down tight, like that, and then I generally pull the tag end quite hard, the main line quite hard, and then all you need to do is to cut off the tag end of the braid, like that, and then that's all good to go. Really, really strong. So as I say, I use that for the majority of my fishing, but with fluorocarbon you can't use the 5-turn grinner, and I use the palomar knot. So let me show you how to tie that one. So take a length of fluorocarbon, create a loop like that, press the loop down and put it through a swivel. Like that, and then you've got the swivel running on the 2 lengths of fluorocarbon. Then you create a loop and tie an overhand knot, like that. Just pull the loop through, and then you just take the swivel and pull it back through the loop you've created, holding both lengths of line. Quite a good idea to moisten the knot so that it doesn't damage the line. Pull tight, and it's done, ready to go. Just cut off the tag end, and then your knot is tied and you're good to go. And the last of the 3 is the knotless knot, which is really good for tying basic hair rigs, and I use that one all the time. So let me show you how you tie that one too. So the knotless knot is a really good way of creating a hair rig, and I use it quite a lot for my barbel rigs. So I've got a hook and some hook link material, and the first thing I'm going to do is create a loop which will become my hair. So first thing we do is to fold the braid over, so you've got 2 bits of braid lying side by side like that, and then holding those 2 bits together, you effectively create a loop like that, as if you're going to tie an overhand knot. But before you put the tail end of the hair back through the loop you've created, just give it a twist like that, and then you put the tag end through the loop you've created like that, and pull it through, pull it down, and then you can pull it tight. Okay, and because you put that extra twist before you tied the knot, that's not going to slip. So your hair length will always remain exactly the same. So then we just cut off the tag end, which is no longer needed. Like that. And then to tie the knotless knot, we put the end of the braid through the back of the hook, like so. You then adjust the length of the hair along the shank of the hook. This is much bigger than I would use in practical terms, but I wanted to tie it as big as possible, as it's easier for you to see. And then holding the back of the hook, you can then whip the line along the shank. And you always start away from you and come towards you. And the reason for that is that the way that most hooks are made, there's a little sharp end on one side. And in this case, it's the side that's towards me. So you always whip away from that, because when you pull the line through the eye, you don't want the braid to be rubbing up against that, because that could damage the braid and your hook link could break. So always do it away from that. So holding the braid, we whip away, towards, away, towards, away, towards, away, towards, away, towards, away, towards. You can do that as many times as you like, depending on the length of the shank. I generally do it about 6 or 7 times. Then there's the tricky bit, which is to hold that knot, between your thumb and first finger, and then you put the braid back through the eye of the hook. Sometimes it's better to lick the end of the braid just to tighten all the fibers, and then you push it back through the hook like that and pull it through like that. Okay, and then you're just pulling it down until you tie everything tight. So you see the way that went through the eye was away from this sharp bit on the side that's closest to me, and then that knot is now tied, and that's a basic knotless knot hair rig which is ready to go. Well, I hope you found that useful. If you did, please like, share and all that sort of stuff. Thanks for watching. Tight lines, guys.